Disclaimer: this was filmed before I've seen the movie. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch-up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I built Scarlet Witch's throne, Wundagore. I love it. Check it out if you haven't already. Today, I'm gonna work on Ironheart from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Let's hope I don't get too left feet again. Here's Ironheart. This design is really unique for an MCU character. She has this anime mecha suit look to her. A sleek yet somewhat mechanical design that looks a bit like Iron Man, but also completely different. Iron Man's suit got more and more organic over time, but Ironheart's suit here still looks like some sort of armor that needs to be put on piece by piece. Let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. The first thing I notice on this figure is how nice the red is. It's finally not that orange red that Hasbro's been using for years. I actually really like the red. My only nitpick is that it's so vibrant that it loses depth and dimension, making the suit look 2D and flat. Her chin, neck, and shoulders all blend together. I love that her head tilts all the way up, perfect for flying poses. Riri Williams' head is also really good, but I do find the more realistic looking head not matching the vibrant 2D-ish body. It almost looks like her head is floating or green screened on. The two different styles kinda clash a little, so hopefully with a little bit of adjustment to the red, everything will go together better. This should be a quick fun one. So, can I make it? I removed all accessories so I can work on the base figure. Not sure if it's picking up on camera, but the lower torso has a darker red than the rest of the figure. Let me see if I can fix the darker red. It's slightly closer in color. Let me paint the rest of the figure the same color. I don't think this step is really necessary, but I do want to add some shading and details to the suit, so having a base layer will make it easier for the paint to stick later. Oh, I can't forget her backpack, or her boosters. I don't really know what they're called. They kinda look like car engine. Okay, now that I've got the base all covered, it has become matte. So I'm gonna add a layer of varnish to seal it in and add a bit of shine back. It kinda feels like I'm reverting it back to its original form. But I personally think the paint sticks a little better on paint and varnish than just the plastic itself. But it could be just me. Maybe it's the same. Anyway, now I'm going to use the black to add the panel lines, to visually separate the various parts, and add a bit more depth to the various holes and indents on the armor. For those who have watched me work on other Iron Man and Spider-Man, you know that I'm a bit intimidated when it comes to using the color black. When done right, it's awesome, but it's a very harsh color. I feel like I have to be very precise when I'm using it. Lines cannot be too thick, and it only blends so much before it turns muddy. There's actually so much more to details on the figure that's unpainted, but I kinda get why they were not painted, since they're technically part of the red armor. But the way some of these details are unpainted kinda makes it look like a cheap figure. Fortunately, the original red is a very bold and strong color, so it's not that big of an issue. My other nitpick is how thin her arms appear to be when compared to her legs. It's probably due to the arm accessories that have to go over them. I probably won't display mine without any accessories, so it's fine. Oh, I forgot to mention, the thing I love the most about this figure is the matte black Hasbro used all over the figure. I love it when the figure comes with various finishes. It just makes it look less toy-like. However, her toes are not matte for some reason, but that's an easy fix. I just gotta paint over them with the black to reduce the glossiness. Ah, those engines. It's missing a lot of paint. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm just gonna have to guess here. As of this moment, there's only like 2 seconds of the suit in action in the trailers. I can barely make out any details, so I'm just gonna do what I think looks good. I'm adding a bit of black to bring out the details of the grill. And I'm adding a bit of black on the top part of the silver bit to give it that burnt metal look, to suggest that it's been burnt from the heat over time. Okay, I couldn't resist. I'm gonna use the blue to add a bit more shading. I feel more comfortable blending out the blue rather than the black. It may look a little funky now, but the paint is gonna dry a bit darker. It will look a little bit more natural in a bit. Hopefully. I'm adding the blue to the collarbone area, and any other areas that look a bit too flat in my eyes. My goal is to end up with various shades of red so that the suit has more dimension in the end. I'm gonna leave the quote-unquote high points untouched. Okay, I'm still not satisfied. I'm gonna add some touches of silver to give the suit that scraped metal look. I'm not going for a battle damage look, I just want it to feel more metallic. And I'm also gonna paint those pipes on the engine silver too. It just feels right. And a bit more on the edges to give it that jet engine look, to suggest that she's been flying around for a while, and it's not a brand new suit. Alright, I think I'm done with the details. Let's seal everything with the varnish again and make it shinier. And last but not least, her face. The face looks pretty natural. I like that the expression is relatively neutral, yet a bit of the personality still comes through. The hairline looks a bit too harsh in my opinion, especially when compared to these stills. So my main goal here is to soften the hairline. First, I'm applying a very thin layer of this brown all over the face. The brown I'm using is pretty close to the original, maybe a touch darker. The reason why I'm applying this all over the face is so that when I add the brown to the hair, the brown blends naturally to the face, instead of looking tacked on. I'm going to slowly dab a bit of brown onto the hairline. It's going to take a couple of thin layers. I don't want to apply thick blobs of paint. I'm going to dab a bit more onto the hair, to draw the attention away from the harsh hairline. I'm also going to add a bit of this lighter brown to counterbalance the black. Alright, here's the head all finished. The hairline's a bit more organic looking now. The hair looks more connected to her head, if that makes sense. The overall face doesn't have this plastic sheen anymore too. Oh, before I do the before and after, I did a thin coat of black on the arm piece here, to make it matte. And for her weapon, I added a black wash on the wire to bring out the details, so it looks a bit more metallic. Hey, you can now support me on Patreon. I post quite regularly there, from behind the scenes updates to sneak peeks to video breakdowns. Top tier members will receive a DIY 3D mini poster every month. These mini posters look great by themselves, but even cooler next to other mini posters. I love making things, and this is my way to thank my supporters. The link to my Patreon is in the description box down below. Alright, here's the finished figure. The suit looks more realistic now. It's a bit scratched up, but I think it kinda helps ground this sleek design. And most of all, the head doesn't look as out of place now. As much as I like this head, I think I'll still display Ironheart with the helmet on. I love Ironheart's design. She has this futuristic vibe to her. The shading in silver helps add dimension to the suit. The red is no longer a flat red. There's now depth to the red and you can see all the various parts on the armor. Here's a closer look. Look at how much flatter the original looks in comparison. The red almost looks like it's glowing. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Let me know down below. But to be fair, I do think this figure is fine unpainted. The original bold red and the matte black actually make a pretty cool combo. And I believe all the gold bits are painted. The only parts with obvious missing paint are her jetpacks on her back. But those areas are not that visible anyway. The reason why I decided to paint mine is because I think stylistically it stands out too much from the rest of my figures. I prefer more of a realistic look to my figures than a stylized one. If I make a Black Panther display in the future, I want Ironheart to not stick out too much due to the bright flat colors. Speaking of Black Panther, I do have a few more figures from this wave. But as of this moment, I still haven't seen the movie. I will work on the new figures once I've seen the movie. Until then, enjoy this montage. Okay, let's end it with the photo shoot. Ironheart has such a nice silhouette. There are all these geometric shapes all over the design, yet it doesn't look blocky. Probably because there are a lot of slanted lines and slight curve to everything. Everything just looks balanced, and it's quite different from the typical MCU design. I also enjoyed that the accessories can be removed for a more stripped down look. But it does make the upper body look a bit small though. It kinda fits the unmasked head. But I still prefer the look with the backpack. Ironheart looks cool with and without the mask on, and it's pretty easy to pose and photograph. Alright, thank you for watching today's video. Give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.